What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown. Gonna give everybody another 5 minutes to join and then we will get started. Mic is working, everything is good. I'm live on both YouTube and Twitch. Let's see how it goes. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so as always, the pairs we're going to be going over are the ones you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUDUSD, finishing off with USOIL. We will be going in order from the top to the bottom. This is the weekly market breakdown. We're going to go over the daily time frame. We'll update our 4-hour time frame, update our 30-minute time frame, and do the same thing. Update our daily highs, our 4-hour highs, our 30-minute highs, see if there's any continuations on, at this point, just the 4-hour time frame and the 30-minute, right? The daily, we still have a few more days left for this month, so we don't have to really update anything on the daily time frame. So AU, we know we are in level 3 on a downtrend, right? We had level 1, push number 1, first zone of consolidation, which is A1. We have level 2, then the second zone of consolidation, which is A2, and then you have the start of level 3, where we had the break of structure of the zone of consolidation, where price gave us a lower low, and now we're just looking for a lower high to be set. So daily time frame, nothing to really look at besides the fact that we have that 30-minute time frame gap at the top that we are expecting price to fill. We also know that on the daily time frame, price did give us a valid break of the 800 EMA. And looking at structure on the internal time frame, once we go down to the 4-hour, we know that price is still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Could this still be a higher low? 1000%. Right, so right now, as much, right, let's take one step back, right? We have 2 weeks of drop. Could we expect price to give us this 3rd week push down to the bottom? Of course, right? Could definitely happen. However, we want to keep in mind, give me 1 second, let me do this as well. 3rd week low, save as, 3rd week. It didn't have to be 3rd week low, but it's all good. Right. So could we be expecting price to give us another push? Absolutely. Right. The question as a trader that you have to ask yourself, right, is how far back could a pullback be? How far back will the pullback be? That's the number one question. Once you start to understand, well, okay, you know, you have different sets of pullbacks for different reasons. You have, if you want to use the fib levels, you have a pullback that could be between 23.6 and 38.2. If you're a religious fib trader, you're probably looking at the golden ratio zone, right, or the 50% inducement, right, the 50% retracement of the fib. If you're looking for a steeper pullback, it could be between 61.8 and 78.6. So there's many different levels to look at when you're looking at a fib. So you also have to understand these fib levels are not always 100% gonna be hit to the T. There's always something more on the charts that you have to keep an eye on, whether it's market structure, whether it's candlestick analysis, whatever it is. At this point, I'm looking at structure, but I'm also looking at candlestick analysis. The fact that price gave us a daily engulfing candle at these lows, could price come back down and bounce off the daily engulfing candle to then continue that push to the top side? 100%. Again, we know we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price could give us a higher low down here. It would make a lot of sense. Now, the only thing that's stopping me from believing that that will happen, where we'll get such a steeper pullback than what we already got, is we have the 800 EMA. Could price continue lower onto the 800 EMA, respect the 800 on the 4-hour, and then give us a pullback? 1000%. 100%. So at this point, will I say that AU going short is a high probability trade? I think so. I think we could catch another, just another piece. All we're looking for is a piece of the pie. I think, alright, we didn't catch this one, we didn't catch this one, perfect. It gave us the confirmations we wanted to see. It gave us the change of character. If we go down to the 30-minute time frame, it gave us the change of character. It gave us the break of structure. Gave us a shoulder head shoulder. Gave us the break below the shoulder head shoulder. Price gave us 2 days of drop. Thursday was the 2nd day. Friday, price gave us that 3rd day low and finished on a drop rise. So Could we expect price to give us a 4th-day variation push back down to the bottom? It looks very likely. It looks really good. So this is what I'll be targeting. Starting off the week, we already know AU is looking good. AU is looking like a promising trade to keep an eye on, to continue to look for these trades. That green candle doesn't have a bottom. I'm about to say, yeah, and we have a flip zone. They don't want to be that. They don't want to make it that easy. All right, let's start looking at structure on the lower time frame. Candle doesn't have a top wick. This candle here does not have a top wick either. I was gonna say another one, an engulfing candle. We'll be looking for price to give us a pullback, but nope, not a valid engulfing candle. Remember, all top and bottom candles need to have a wick. If the candle doesn't have a wick, is not a valid engulfing candle. Then we had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, higher high, higher low. Then price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We got the break. Then gave us the inducement. So whether we say this was the change or this was the change, it doesn't really affect it that much because it's the same structure. But we could say that this is where price gave us the first thing we want to see, which is the change of character. Perfect. So we know that this is the 1 minute change of character. Changes to red, so we know it's a downtrend, and we know we're trading between these highs over here. And we don't have any set lows just yet, but we'll mark it up at that low right there. 1 minute break. 1 minute break, right? So this is the lower low, that's the lower high. And now on the 1 minute time frame, let's see if price gave us an engulfing candle. Before it did, gave us the inducement, collected all the stop losses, the inducement of the high, started going short, and we do not have any engulfing candles here. So perfect. What we gotta wait for next is for price to give us that 1 minute break. Once we get that 1 minute break to the lows, we know we could take these trades back down to the bottom. And on top of the fact that we have a 3rd week low, we also have that 4th day variation back down to the bottom, that 372. So we'll continue to mark up AU. So AU is definitely on my watch list. Now on the 30-minute time frame, we have lower low, lower high up here, and then we have these lower lows down here, which technically it should be this here. Pretty big zone. So AU is definitely on my watch list. Here was Goody Muhammad. My bad, I was locked in on that chart. Give me 1 second while I give me 1 sec. Let me put this on the watch list. Okay. So AU is looking good. AU is looking good. ACAD. Daily time frame, we know we are in A1, which is the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We're still in the zone of consolidation. We have no valid break of the lows and no valid break of the highs. Price tested the highs, tested the lows, tested the highs, tested the lows, tested the highs, tested the lows, and now price is pushing back up again. We have no continuations on the daily time frame, really nothing to mark up here. We did have a daily engulfing candle, but again, when we're looking at market structure, price is giving us higher highs and higher lows. So the question is again, why would I take a bearish engulfing candle when price is still higher high, higher low? Doesn't make any sense. We had a week of drop last week. Let's add a few lines here. Then this week, let's see how we finished it off. Just gonna add a few lines here. Give me 1 second. Then this week, price gave us a weaker rise, so no continuations there. And again, same thing as the daily time frame. We have a bearish engulfing candle. Why would I take a trade going short when price is still giving me higher highs and higher lows? So now let's go to the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character. Now, for AUDUSD, it's very similar to AU, right? Do I want to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low? Not really. Because all of this was part of the same trend, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high, and price gave us a whole trend back down to the bottom to the change of character, lower low. With that being said, only reason I have it marked this way is just we could see the internal moves. But that's what this is all going to be. It's just going to be internal move. And we'll mark that up on Monday on the live trading session. But we know we're still trading between this low and these highs up here. And again, we'll touch more about this topic on Monday. The live trading session, we'll get in here, we'll talk about AUDUSD, and then we'll go on from there. Price gave us a day of drop on Thursday, which again, Thursday I didn't do a session, and then on Friday, price is really close to being a no net. We're 5 pips. I'm gonna mark it as a day of rise, and we have to update this on Monday, then we'll do that. No problem. For EA, daily time frame, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. In level 3 on an uptrend, we're just stuck in a zone of consolidation, which we could see a little bit better on the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, this is where price is rejecting lows and rejecting highs. We're just moving sideways, and right now we're just in the middle of that. We had a weaker rise last week. This week, price gave us a second weaker rise. Could we expect price to give us that 3rd week push to the top side? It could happen. Could happen. 3rd week high. Save template. 3rd week high. $30-minute time frame. Price gave us a change of character down to the bottom side. It gave us a day of no net on Thursday. Price was just moving sideways, and then price gave us a day of rise on Friday. Now I want to go down into the lower time frame, see if there's any engulfing candles. We had one here on the 4-hour that price never tapped into. Four-hour engulfing. On the 1-hour time frame, no engulfings. This one's not valid because that green candle does not have a bottom wick and that red candle doesn't have a top wick. We had a bearish engulfing candle here at the lows, which was the inducement. Let's go to the 30-minute, no engulfing candles here. We had one here, but no bottom and top wicks. Let's go to the 15. Nothing on the 15. I want to see the 5-minute real quick. 5-minute time frame, we had nothing. Nothing on the 5-minute. Okay. And if we zoom in here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. We had one here that price tapped into, but it was not valid. Green candle does not have a bottom wick. Alright, so we'll just wait it out. Right, we have no 5-minute structure to follow, so 30-minute is where we're gonna have to go. Now, do I think price is gonna come down to these lows for this week and then make the push? No, I think this would be too steep of a pullback. But do I believe that price could give us a higher move and then come back and give us a steeper pullback into the engulfing to then continue? That is something that could happen. So we'll be patient with it. But I'm liking what I see on EA. Let me go ahead and write this on the watch list. For EUROCAD, daily time frame, we are in peak high territory. We're trading at a higher high. Not only are we trading at a higher high, but we're trading at the highs of the daily time frame, we're trading highs of the 4-hour time frame, and we're trading at the 30-minute highs. At this point, we can see that price might give us that second month push. Right? I am believing that price will do it. There's no way price will just plummet down and finish on a no net or on a month of drop. We only have 2 days left for the month. Technically, right? Because 28th is Sunday, right? 29th-30th. So yeah, we pretty much have till Tuesday. And I don't think that in 2 days, price will give us that type of move. On the 4-hour time frame, let's add a few lines here. We had 3 weeks of rise. On the 3rd week, gave us a rise drop. We were expecting price to give us a 4th week push to the top side. It gave us that 4th week push to the top side. Perfect. I'm no longer expecting price to continue this trend to the top side. Now, let's go look. Remember, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high, and technically this is a higher low. But notice how price gave us another push to the top side and gave us the inducement. On top of the fact that price gave us this 4-hour exhaustion candle after the inducement happened, let's go down into the lower time frame and start looking at structure. So now on the lower time frame, when we go to the 30, there's a couple things I want to note. Number one, again, we are still trading higher high, higher low. Technically, this is a lower high. Price didn't give us that push to the top side. This is a lower high point. Then price gave us a day of drop on Wednesday. Thursday, price gave us a second day of drop. And on Friday, price did give us that new low. With that wick that opened, the opening candle did give us that 3rd day low and finished on a rise. Now, this is a pair that we are in an overall uptrend still. We're still in peak high territory. So I'm not going to mark this as a drop rise. However, we're in peak high territory, and I just had this conversation earlier with Kendall, where, oh, I don't even have the YouTube stream open. I don't even have the chat. That's my bad, Muhammad. EA forward engulfing is already used. We'll go back to that, my bad. For some reason I don't have the chat open. That's my bad, Muhammad. Because we're in peak high territory. Well, no, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say with Kendall, right? So there's one thing that you know, everybody always questions, like, yo, why don't you trade counter trend? Why don't you trade pullback? Blah blah blah. The biggest reason why I haven't really done that this year is because, for the main reason, I'm on stream trading every single time. Now, what does that mean? There's something that I always follow, which is something that I always want my beginner traders who are in the mentorships, who are actually taking this serious, to, before you could trade, I'll say this, right? Before you could trade counter trend, before you should even consider trading counter trend and trading pullbacks, the one thing you need to focus on is trading with the trend. Not only do you need to focus on trading with the trend, but you also need to make sure that you're following and you know how to mark up your structure on the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame. Now, why? It's not because you're taking trades on the daily or the 4-hour, but because if you don't know how to mark up structure on a higher time frame, if you can't see higher highs and higher lows or lower highs or zones of consolidation when you're in the daily or 4-hour time frame, it's going to be very difficult for you to do it on the 30, and it's going to be a lot more difficult once you start going into the 5-minute and the 1-minute time frame. When you're trading counter trend, 9 out of 10 times, price is going to give you that entry on the 5-minute, on the 1-minute time frame. 9 out of 10 times. With that being said, I don't really like trading on stream going counter trend, because then everybody's going to try to do it. And imagine, if you're a beginner trader and you're already taking losses in an area where you believe price is trending, imagine if you also try to take trades when price is moving counter trend. So the reason I don't trade, or the reason I don't teach people right now, especially the beginner traders, and everybody that's been on my streams and on my sessions, luckily have been beginner traders, I'm not going to teach you guys how to trade with the trend and then also counter trend. Because again, if you take, just for an example, you take 5 trades and out of those 5 trades you took 2 losses or 3 losses, and that's with the trend. Imagine if you're trying to go against the trend. You're going to take those same 5 trades, so in total you're going to take 10 trades, and you might lose 4 out of those 5 trades trying to trade counter trend. So now your win-loss is horrible, your risk management is horrible, you lost half of your account. It doesn't make any sense. Once you master how to trade with the trend, once you feel comfortable and confident enough, and the stats are there, I'm not just saying like, oh yeah, I feel comfortable. No, the stats have to be there. If you don't have a 80% win rate, a 90% win rate, you're not ready to trade counter trend. So I do want to put this out there. I had this conversation this weekend, and I'm gonna definitely start looking to be a little bit more aggressive on stream, because there's a whole bunch of trades that I miss. Not that I miss, it's just that I'm not looking for them. But there's a lot of opportunities on the charts that I'm not taking advantage of because I'm more focused on making sure that I don't confuse the people who are actually taking the course. Like, hey, you took this trade, why'd you take it? And it's like, I'm not gonna give you the reason why I took it. Right? We're gonna go over it on the stream. We'll talk about it. You know, I'll obviously talk about my point of interest as to why, but I'm not gonna elaborate it on one-on-one sessions. I'm not gonna elaborate it on streams. If you guys have questions, I'm just gonna take those trades. Because again, if it's hard for you guys already to take trades with the trends, I can't even imagine you guys trading counter trend. There's so much more attention to detail that you need to have when you're trading counter trend, opposed to when you're just trading with the trend. You don't have to babysit the trade. You don't have to sit there and start asking yourself questions when you're trading with the trend. When you're trading against the trend, you have to ask yourself questions. You have to start looking at the structure. You have to start putting, well, if you took a trade on a lower high and you're taking that short, or you're taking, I'm sorry, if you're taking a trade from the lower low going into the lower high, and you take that counter trend trade from the bottom to make that pullback to the lower high, how far back is the pullback going to be? That's the number one question. Are you taking the trade from the bottom? Are you taking the trade from the middle? Are you taking the trade when price already gave you a set lower high to then continue into the lower low? So I hope that all makes sense. I know I kind of went on that, but I just wanted to make it clear. Again, if you don't have any business trading counter trend if you do not know how to trade with the trend. It's just as simple as that. So EURCAD for me for this week, this is definitely on my watch list, and this is on my watch list going short, going counter trend. We had an internal 5-minute break of structure of the shoulder head shoulder, because we know that the shoulder head shoulder is not a 30-minute shoulder head shoulder, it's a 5-minute internal structure. But we have the break. Now, I would have loved this pair a lot better if we would have broken on the 30-minute, if we would have broken below the 800, if we were to be trending below the EMAs. I would love this pair a lot more. However, you start going into the lower time frames and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. We have so many exhaustion candles. And we just got to be patient for that entry to be taken, to be honest. There's really not much more to go for this, so EA is gonna be a pair on my list for this week for sure. But if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. And then Mohammed, my bad, my brother. You said EA 4-hour engulfing has already been used. Let's see. Yeah, the 4-hour. Did I mark it up? And my bad. I'm tweaked. Yeah, you're right. I don't even know if I said that on stream or if I just glanced over it, but yeah, the 4 hour engulfing has already been used, so technically it's already. So everything I said about EA, about looking for that pullback, scratch that. It already gave us the first entry, and we'll be looking for the continuations to continue. Um, Let me go back to this. 5 minute structure. We said there was no 5 minute structure. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll just have to be patient with EA. Give it some time to move once the market's open this week, and we'll continue to see those entries. And then for ECAD, right? Let's see what price does. It'll be very, very interesting to see what ECAD does here when the market's open. So ECAD, I'm gonna put this on my watch list. EUROCAD. Alright. EURUSD on the daily time frame. We are trading pretty similar to GU. We're in level 2 on an uptrend. We had level 1, V1 for zone consolidation on an uptrend. Level 2, we had the break, higher high, higher low. And then price gave us another higher high where price just gave us a zone of consolidation. Let me go ahead and start deleting some of these drawings. Give me 1 second. So price gave us another push, gave us the inducement of the high, did not give us a valid break. And once again, we're trading on the daily highs, on the 4 hour highs. On the daily time frame, we can see that price didn't give us a valid break. It gave us an inducement. On the 4 hour, price did the same thing, did not give us a valid break. It gave us an inducement, and it also gave us an exhaustion candle. Let's go ahead and add a few lines here as well, just so we don't have to do this every week. But again, I feel like I say this every single stream, but I feel like every weekend I have to add a new line. Every stream is just like I say the same thing. But I swear, you guys see that I'm adding multiple weeks. Price gave us a counter drop. That's okay. We'll be looking for price to give us a pullback. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, then gave us a change of character, lower low. And in this change of character, 30-minute, alright, what am I missing? Change of character to the bottom side, and we know we're trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows over here. Pretty big zone. Price gave us a day of counter drop on Thursday, or I'm sorry, on Wednesday. On Wednesday, it gave us a day of drop. Thursday, it gave us a second day of drop going counter, and then on Friday, price gave us the day of rise. So, gonna be patient with EU. Gonna be looking for a little bit more confirmations before we could start taking these trades going short. On the daily time frame, it gave us a nice engulfing candle, bearish engulfing, gave us a retest. And then as soon as it gave us that retest, straight into profit, back down to the bottom. So right now, we got the inducement, we got the change of character. We know that in order for us to start looking for continuations back down, for this to continue that downtrend push, I need to see that valid break of these lows. So EU will be patient with that. Going on to the next pair for GA. Daily time frame, we know that we are in peak high territory. So this is another pair that currently not going to be touching it. Gonna wait it out. We're still stuck in the zone of consolidation as well on the daily time frame where price is rejecting lows and rejecting highs. So no confirmations for GA, is not trending. It's not giving us higher high, higher lows. It's not giving us lower lows, lower highs. There's nothing to trade. Price is just in a zone of consolidation. So this is a pair that I'm going to once again just keep it marked so we don't have to do this, or so we don't have to catch up when the time is here to take trades. Everything will be updated and ready. So 4 hour time frame, we had 2 days where price has just been moving sideways, and on the 30-minute, price gave us a lower low change of character, did not give us the valid break, and then price ended up giving us a day of rise on Friday. So Very similar to ECAD in a sense. As soon as price, and very similar to EU, as soon as price gives us that change of character, or that break of structure after the change of character, that's when I'll start taking a trade. Not only that, but at the same time that we get that valid break on the 30-minute, we'll also want to see that break of the 4-hour low, which is again just the bottom of the zone of consolidation. So we'll be patient with GA, but GA could be a good one for this week to keep an eye on. For GCAD, 1 second. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. Anything you guys want me to talk about, explain again, any pairs, any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. I'll give you guys another minute. If not, we'll keep going. Pretty much almost done on this list. We should be done in the next 15 minutes. Any questions at all, let me know, guys. No questions, alright. Alright, so let's keep it going. So GCAD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. We know we have level 1, V1 for zone of consolidation, level 2, V2, second zone of consolidation, and then level 3. Right, on the push up to level 3, going from higher high, higher low, higher high, this is when the market conditions started changing from trending to consolidating. And that's okay. Instead of price, remember, there's only two things. There's only two market conditions that price could do, either a trend or a zone of consolidation. GCAD decided to give us a zone of consolidation. That's okay. If we look at GCAD, it's still giving us higher high, higher low. Technically, higher high because price closed above, but remember that we're still doing higher highs in a zone of consolidation where price is still rejecting these highs. Then price gave us higher low, and then price here, you can see that never closed above, and we never got a closure above the daily or the 4-hour time frame, so we still have the inducement. So when I'm looking at a pair like GCAD, and again, we know we're in an overall uptrend, but we also understand that price is in a zone of consolidation. We can't expect price to give us, right, we can't say that this is a higher high, higher low situation because price didn't give us a higher high. It gave us a lower high. Gave us a lower high, it gave us the exhaustion candles, and it gave us an inducement, and then price started going down. So I cannot look at this pair and start saying, oh, but this is still higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That would be incorrect. So for GCAD on the daily time frame, at least this is giving me already some type of confirmation or some type of clarity as to what's going on. 4-hour time frame too, when we're looking at the weeks, it gave us another week of rise. So I'm not really expecting price to continue this push to the top side. And on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us higher high, higher low, right? Gave us all of this trend to the top side, higher high, then gave us higher low, then gave us a higher high point, to then give us the change of character back down to the bottom, lower low. So regardless, for GCAD, there's two things I want to see. There's two things. I either want to see price give me an inducement of these lows to then continue this trade, or this is where we'll see price give us the break to then continue that pull back down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. It's only two things. Now, to take my trades up here going long, once again, the only time I'll be looking for trades to go back up is if price gives me this inducement or if price finally decides to give us a break of these highs, I'll look for the break, I'll look for the retest. Once we get the retest after the break of the highs, that's when I'll start trading going long. But taking trades on GCAD, and we spoke about this week, this is why you guys see the markups, this is what I was talking about. Taking trades in these areas, I am not going to do it. There's just no way. It's very low probability. It's not a good space, not a good area to take a trade in, especially if you're looking to take these trades going back up. So right now, just going to be patient with GCAD. We already know there's two things we're looking for. Our charts are ready to start trading it once we hit these points of interest, and that's it. So GCAD, going on to the next one. GJ, man. G fucking J. Gave us a beautiful trade, I will say this. GJ gave us a beautiful trade. Again, pretty much going back to the top side. But this isn't a pair that I'm looking at. This isn't a pair that I'm currently trying to trade. This is a pair that I'm just respecting it. We'll use that word. We're stuck in a huge zone of consolidation. Again, could you take trades here? Yeah, you can. It's just very high risk. And I'm not really a trader that likes to take high risk trades. So that's really what it boils down to when it comes to GJ. Right? GJ, we know we're still stuck in a zone of consolidation. We're still on an uptrend, but I'm just looking for price to give me valid break of these highs, especially on the 4-hour time frame, which we haven't gotten yet. All of these candles we're still testing the highs. As you guys can see, we have the marker here. None of these candles gave us a real break. All of these were still testing the zone. And you can see that even if we zoom in, right, we go down to the 30-minute, you guys will see that we're stuck in the zone of consolidation, which we could see a little bit better on the 4-hour. Price is just moving sideways. So GJ is a pair for me that I'm just being patient with. I'm not forcing any trades. If they come naturally, then they come naturally. If not, then it is what it is. We'll wait for the next setup. Just going to keep this updated. We had a week of drop last week. This week, price gave us a week of rise. So perfect. Price is moving, at least. We'll tell you that much. Price is 100% moving. Just isn't moving as good as I would want it to move. So GJ, will be patient. I don't really have anything for GJ for this week to talk about. GU. How long have we been streaming for already for this? 51 minutes? Alright. GU, like I said, very similar to EU. We are in level 2 on an uptrend. We have level 1, first zone of consolidation, which is V1. We had the break, higher high. We had the retest of the zone of consolidation, higher low. Then price gave us the push to the top side. It gave us another higher high. And again, very similar to EU. We're just stuck in the zone of consolidation where price is rejecting highs and rejecting lows. So GU is a pair. I am expecting a steeper pullback, very similar to EU's. So this is a pair that currently I'm not trading it, but I am looking for price to give us a pullback. And once we get those pullbacks, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. What did I just mark? 4-hour low. We had a week of counter drop last week. This week, price gave us a second week of drop. Perfect, no problem. 30-minute time frame. Price gave us the change of character lower low, which was also a shoulder head shoulder. After the change of character, it gave us the break of structure. The break of structure did happen, or it didn't happen actually. It didn't give us a valid break until 7 a.m., 8 a.m. on Thursday. It gave us that valid break. It gave us a day of drop. So now we have 2 days of drop. And on the third day low, price did not give us that third day low, but that's okay. Moving counter trend, as I said, and we have a day of rise. Price then gave us lower low, lower high. And I'm not marking this as lower low, lower high, lower low. All of this is part of the same trend, just based on the fact that, again, we didn't get a valid break of these lows until price gave us these pushes here. So this is lower low, lower high. Then price gave us these lower lows over here. And my hand hurts. So we'll be patient with GU. NZD USD. Finally pushing down, maybe. Let's see. We know that we are in A2, which is the second zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We have level 1 on a downtrend, first zone of consolidation, which is A1, level 2, second zone of consolidation, which is A2, and now we're looking for that third and final push back to the previous lows. Now, I would have loved to have seen price give me a valid break of these lows, which we haven't gotten. Again, price in the zone of consolidation is rejecting lows, rejecting highs, moving sideways, going back down, rejecting lows, going up. On the lower time frame, now if we go down to the 4-hour, we can see that price was in a zone of consolidation. In this zone of consolidation, price was doing the same thing, rejecting lows and rejecting highs the entire time, up until this previous week that price gave us these breaks of the lows, gave us a valid break of the low, gave us a 4-hour lower low, lower high, right? At one point we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, then gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high, gave us a break of structure, lower low, and then price gave us an inducement of the 4-hour high, and after the inducement, that's when price started going down and gave us the push back down to the bottom. So could we start looking for these entries on the 4-hour time frame? Absolutely. Now, remember, we're trading at a lower low. Understanding that we're trading at a lower low, what does price have to do after a lower low? It has to give us a lower high point. Now, once again, the question is, how far back is this lower high going to be? And this is where market structure comes into play. This is where using the fib retracements come into play. We have, let's start with this. So number one, let's delete some of these drawings here. Looking at how price is moving. And this is where another thing that comes into play is different structures in trading. Different entry points, different candlestick patterns, candlestick analysis, market structure patterns, right? Like double bottoms, double tops, flag post patterns. If you use harmonic patterns are also really good to use. I personally do not use harmonic patterns. I never really learned it that much. That is not one thing that I took upon myself to really learn. But it is a useful tool. So at this point, seeing how price is moving, and especially if we go down to the 30-minute, this is a pair where I could sit here and say we could potentially be looking for a flag post pattern. Now, that's what it looks like on the 30-minute time frame. And we know we're trading lower low, lower high. I'm not going to mark this. I don't really want to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low, but I think I have to. Gave us a nice pullback. It gave us the break. I'm going to mark it like that. Lower high here, and then lower low at the bottom. So we're trading between this lower high here and these lower lows at the bottom. When I'm looking at structure and I'm looking at how price could move, I'm taking into consideration, you always got to think about the player behind the screen, the market makers. With that being said, do I see a possibility where price is going to give us an inducement higher high instead of just giving us a simple lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high to continue into a lower low? I think so. And I'm just saying this based on the 4-hour, which is where a flag post pattern, every time people draw, I'll start with this. Every time people draw a flag post pattern, what does it look like? Right? It's always a straight line to the top side, right? A small little inducement, and then a continuation. Every time people draw a flag post pattern, this is what it looks like. Now, what does that mean when you're looking for it in candlesticks? Because you're not going to be trading the line chart. Because if you trade the line chart, right, you don't have any candlesticks. It looks like straight candles, even though it doesn't in this area. But it just looks like straight candles down to the bottom. When I'm looking for a flag post pattern, I literally want to see straight red candles to the bottom. I don't want to see a zone of consolidation. I don't want to see lower low, lower high, right, on the lower time frames. I don't want to see, if price is going straight down here, you know that on the lower time frame, you're seeing lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So I don't want to see lower lows and lower highs printed on the daily time frame. I want to see is straight red candle, for example, like this one. Or let's use another example that's in the trend. Let's see if there is one here that we can mark up or that we could see. Straight, or like this, right? Straight green candles to the top side, right? Straight red candles to the bottom side. That's what I want to see when I'm looking for a flag post pattern entry. Similar to this one, just straight red candles to the bottom. So with that being said, the fact that I don't have just straight red candles and we do have structure inputted on this, we have structure here, we have structure here, we can see that price is giving us those exhaustions to the lows too. Where do I think price is going to give me a pullback to? I think if we're looking at the fib levels, I do believe that we're going to get a 50% retracement. Now, let me go ahead and mark this up as well. So we know we have trading lower low and we're trading between these lows. If we add our fib level, where is that retracement going to be? So we know we're trading between this lower high, this lower low. Remember, I said a 50% retracement is what I'm looking for. What I could be expecting for price to do. The second thing I want to see is what EMAs are we bouncing from? On the daily time frame, we know that we're in level 3 and we know we're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. If we go to the daily and we look at where the EMAs are, the 50 is right above, the 50 EMA is right above the 50% retracement. So that pullback would make sense on the daily time frame. On the 4 hour, we're on the 38.2, but could price give us an inducement on the 4 hour time frame? For sure. For sure. Because again, we know that we're looking for price to bounce off the 50. Could price give us a fake bounce off the 50 here to then give us the inducement, go a little bit higher to then continue that downtrend push? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, keeping that in mind, we also know we had 3 days of drop. On the third day, it gave us a drop, no net. Before we got a pullback, could we get another push down to the bottom? For sure. But right now, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the small move. I want to see the big move. Now, if we get an opportunity to capitalize on this pullback, or not even a pullback, but just another push to the downside, will we take it? For sure. No doubt about it. This is where structure is going to come in on the lower time frames, where we know we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, and then price here gave us the higher high point at these highs over here. So if price decides to give us a change of character, break of structure back down to the bottom, then we'll give it a little bit more mind. But right now is not what I'm seeing. It's not what I'm looking for. So NZD USD, we'll keep an eye on it. It's not going to be on my watch list. These last couple pairs, guys, I'm going to speed it up. We're already an hour into the stream. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Daily time frame on US30, we're still in peak high territory. We're trading at a higher high. Not going to update my 4 hour or my daily highs just yet. On the 4 hour time frame, we had 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week. Price gave us a rise, no net. Could price give us a continuation back to the top side? It for sure can. Am I expecting it? No. We already have the exhaustion candle on the daily time frame back to the top side. We know that on the lower time frames, price gave us we had a lot of gaps in the market. That's the number one thing. Gaps, a whole bunch of gaps in the market, and the move that we were looking for played out 7 a.m. a little bit earlier than expected. So we didn't really have an opportunity to take these trades, but price did exactly what I had to do. We had 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go down. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up, and we ended up going up. Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, gave us a change of character, lower low. It gave us a shoulder head shoulder, but we did not give a break of the shoulder head shoulder, and price is respecting the 800 EMA. So for US30 right now, our confirmations to continue this short push down to the bottom, we don't have it. It gave us an inducement of the low instead of a valid break. So technically right now, I'm not expecting price to continue to go lower on US30. It's not something I'm expecting. So gonna be patient with US30, and we'll see how the beginning of the week stirs up for it. USDCAD. So USDCAD is very interesting. As you guys know, for the ones who follow the page and follow these streams, you guys know that USDCAD right now is not a pair I'm currently looking to trade. Overall picture, we know we already completed the uptrend pattern. Previous downtrend pattern, push 1, push 2, push 3, turned it around, push 1, push 2, push 3, we reached the previous peak high, perfect. This is where we'd want to start seeing price start the downtrend push, which we could see could be happening. We had peak high that gave us an inverse shoulder head shoulder, gave us push number 1 to the bottom, and gave us the first zone of consolidation. Perfect. However, once again, looking at overall structure, we know we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Could this just be a higher low point to continue back up again? It could be. Now, this is where I'm going to start being very cautious with USDCAD. And the only times I'll be looking to take a trade on USDCAD will be if price gives us a break of the zone of consolidation. If price gives us a break of the zone of consolidation, I'll be looking for the pushes back to the top side. If price gives us an inducement of these highs and then starts making lower lows and lower highs, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades going back down. And currently we can see that price is not giving us those downtrend pushes. We know we had lower low, lower high, and this is a pair where, again, on the 4 hour, I'm not comfortable saying that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, and then price gave us, you know, all of this was part of the same trend I had marked, right? I want to say that this is the change here, and then this is where the break of structure is going to happen, and we can see that price did indeed close above. Now, we talked about this. Let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings here too. I don't want to have too much on my screen. You know, what does a valid break look like? This first green candle, I wouldn't have called it a break because we never had that bottom wick, but we did get the valid break here. Now, again, this candle didn't close above this candle's wick, which already, again, to me, I wouldn't even classify this as a valid break. If this candle would have had that bottom wick, then I would have said, okay, yeah, cool, we closed above, we have a bottom wick, we have a valid break, we'll be looking for price to give us higher high, higher low to then continue into the higher high. Then we went back down, gave us another green candle that closed above the first but did not close above the second. After it gave us that candle, it gave us a huge exhaustion candle back to back. So there's some confluence that's just conflicting, right? There's some things that just conflict with this pair. So right now, even on the 30-minute, price is still giving us higher high and higher low. It ended up giving us a change of character back to the top side, and we know that we're trading between whatever lows are down here, and I'm not going to mark this just yet, we'll do this on Monday, and these highs. We had 3 days of rise, we had 4 days of rise, we had a gap in the market, reset the trend, and then price gave us a no net after this. Price just moved sideways on Friday. So we're going to be patient with USDCAD. Again, I'm not really expecting price to continue this uptrend push. And you know, we don't even have to go into the correlations of the different pairs, where again, USDCAD gave us signs that it doesn't want to go lower. So that would make sense with USDCAD to push higher. But USDCAD is giving us signals that it doesn't want to push higher and it wants to go lower. But again, the correlation between CAD and USDCAD and US30 are different. So in essence, they should be moving differently, but right now they're giving us the same type of confirmations. So once again, we just gotta be patient. There's nothing more to it. There's nothing less to it. It's just what it is. What are these highs that I marked here? What is this? I don't know why I have that marked. This is not good. Is that a gap maybe? Is that what this is? Let me see. Looks like it might be a gap. It's not a gap. What is this? Why did I mark that up? Drop, drop, drop. Three days gave us a fourth day push to the top side. 4 hour. 1, 2 rise no net. But this isn't on the body, and then on the daily, it's just another wick. Whatever. I don't know why that's there. I'm gonna delete it. So USDCAD we'll be patient with USDCAD. Very similar to USDZAR, right? USDZAR very similar to USDCAD. We know that ZAR is still in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third and final push to the top side. Price on the daily time frame finally gave us a retest of the daily engulfing candle, but price is still making lower lows and lower highs. So USDZAR just gonna be patient. Once we start making higher highs and higher lows, once we get that change of character break of structure, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. And right now, price for the last 2 weeks has just been moving sideways. And then on the 30-minute time frame, while price is moving sideways, we can see lower low, lower high. Price then gave us lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're trading between these 30-minute lower high points over here. And these lower lows over here. So again, what I'm looking for on USDZAR is for it to start making higher highs and higher lows. Without those higher highs, higher lows, I can't take a trade. We had 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, price gave us a rise drop. I am going to mark this as a rise drop since we are in an uptrend. But we don't have that change. We don't have that break. Price is not on an uptrend just yet, so I won't be trading it. For gold, this is another pair that currently I am a little hands off on. We know that we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We're at a higher high. Price gave us a higher high on the daily time frame, gave us a higher high on the 4-hour time frame, and on the 30-minute time frame. After a higher high, I'm looking for a higher low. And again, as soon as price gives me a confirmation that is ready to start pushing down to go from the higher high back down into the higher low, best believe we're going to be in that trade. No doubt. Price then on the 30-minute, once again, we're still on an uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high, and now it's just moving sideways just a little bit. Price on Thursday gave us a day of rise. Let's go ahead and delete some of these markups. Sorry guys, I know it's a lot on my screen. Alright, price did exactly what we talked about on Friday too, or on Thursday. It's like, yo, on Thursday session, I was like, yo, this is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to give us a little inducement, come back down, retest the 15-minute engulfing, and then continue. Just unfortunate that STP was hit first, but it gave us beautiful entries back up to the top side, at least to fill the gap up. That would have been the trade for Thursday. Take the trade, fill the gap. As soon as it filled the gap, it just continued. Gave us another higher low point, then continued that trend back to the top side. Again, even though we have 2 days of rise, I'm not expecting this to be a 372, so I'm not going to mark it as that. Let's take a look on the 15. No engulfing candles on the 15. On the 5-minute, no structure on the 5-minute either. We're still higher high, higher low, so gold will be patient. We'll be patient, gold. We'll be patient. And then Bitcoin and oil, these are other 2 pairs right now that, well, Bitcoin more than oil, but not really trading them. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. Any questions? Any other specific pairs you guys want me to go over real quick before we turn the stream off? Let me know. We'll be done here in the next couple minutes. Saturday at 8 p.m. is when the market's open for crypto. Well, that's when the new week starts. have a weaker drop. And again, reasons I'm not really trading it, price is just consolidating in these areas. Not gonna mess with it. We're still trading higher high, higher low, which is good, but once again, right now we don't really have any confirmations as to where price wants to go. Price is just moving sideways, just trapping traders left and right the entire time. So we'll be patient. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we do have to update our 30-minute. We have higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high, and lower low. Let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings too. We had to we had to change, and we had to break on the lower on the 30-minute time frame, going short. So again, we'll be patient. I'm not in no rush to trade Bitcoin right now, especially going short. But it's crazy how the media right now, it's like hyping everybody up to buy Bitcoin in these positions. Like they're just they're just hitting your guys' stop losses, man. I feel bad for you guys. Everybody was so hyped in the beginning of this week, of last week, I should say. Like, yo, Bitcoin, we have so much news. All the presidents in the world are telling us that it's gonna go to $1 million by the end of the year. Like, brother, they are literally trying to hit your stop losses, man. They get paid off of that. So that's exactly what happened. A lot of traders, man, a handful of traders this week were taking fat L's, especially in this area. You know, pretty much the beginning of the week, right? Yeah. A lot of buyers were in these areas, and as soon as you bought it in the beginning of the week, boom, straight to stop loss. All those buyers got liquidated. So that's why I always say, guys, if you're a trader, stay away from media. Stay away from media news. Stay away from Fox. Stay away from any mainstream media. Stay away from it. Your only focus as a trader is to look at forexfactory.com, and that's it. Follow market structure, and that's it. And then oil, right? Let's talk about oil. Oil's getting to a place where I would love to start taking trades. We know that we are in level 2 on a downtrend. We had level 1, then we had the first zone of consolidation A1, then we have the start of push number 2 that gave us the break of structure of the bottom of the zone of consolidation, gave us the lower low, lower high point, and now we're just looking for those continuations from the lower high back down into the lower low. So internally, we could see price giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Now we're looking for another lower high point to be set on the lower time frame, which again on the daily, we know that we're looking for price. Overall, we're in level 2. We know we're looking for price bounce off the 200 EMA. So my first point of interest as to where I'll be looking to take trades is going to be once price gives us this retest, this lower high point off the 200 EMA. Once price gives me a retest of the 200 EMA on the daily time frame, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. Not only do I want to see price give me a retest of that lower high point, but I also want to start seeing price give me lower lows and lower highs. As soon as we start making lower lows and lower highs, you know that we're in those trades. We had 2 weeks that price moved sideways, then last week price gave us a week of rise. Perfect. And then on the 30-minute, we can see that right now price gave us that change of character down to the lower low point, and then price gave us an inducement of these lows, went back up and gave us a change of character back to the top side. So it's looking good. It's doing the moves that we want to see. Gave us an inducement of the high. We're almost at the 200 EMA. If it gives us another push to the top side with another inducement, then we know that we'll go straight down. And right now we don't have any 30-minute set highs. Our 30-minute low is the same. We're still trading between this 30-minute low down here. So we'll be patient. Oil is definitely one that I'm going to put on my watch list for this week as well. So just to recap, in case I missed something, right, on the 30-minute too, my bad, we had 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must go down or move sideways, and we ended up moving sideways. Right, it moved sideways, went down, came up, went back down, and it finished exactly where we opened. So we did finish on a day of no net. Price is doing exactly what it needs to do. So real quick, We'll go through these pairs one by one on the 30-minute time frame, see if we missed anything, but I think we're good. Right, so AU, we know we're looking for those short positions. ACAD, nothing. EA, nothing. Right, EA, we're looking for those long positions. ECAD, we're looking for these short positions. EU, looks like price wants to give us a steeper pullback, and again, it's gonna be a wild week. I'll say that for sure. It's gonna be a wild week. That's pretty much it. And these last pairs, nothing. Okay. Any questions in the chat, guys? Let me know. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else you guys want me to go over? Anything you want me to explain? Let me know. If not, that's it for today's session, and we'll be back again on Monday morning for the live trading session. Alright, guys. Peace out.